want to say, Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Rakakwadash. That's the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit of the Bible. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. I want to say shalom to all you brothers out here pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the Akim and Akwaf listening. We the Hebrew Israelites. All right, we believe that we are descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel, according to the Bible, according to biblical prophecy, according to history. And I'm getting to the topic of Frank James. Frank James is all over the internet. Frank James, aka Brooklyn Shooter. Frank James, all the updates going on about him. No, we are not affiliated at all with Frank James. Great Millstone is not affiliated. Never heard of this guy ever. He's never stopped by the camp. I don't recognize his face. But one thing I'll say about Frank James is that he has this channel, right? He had this channel. They took it down, Prophet of Truth 88. And so the only people who are out here, so-called Israelites, so-called Negroes or Latinos that call themselves prophets, are people that affiliate themselves with Hebrew Israelites. We've been naming our channels Prophet of this and Servant of that for years, Prophet of Doom for years. But now that Frank James is a popular name on the scene, you gotta ask why. See, everything happens with timing. Why now? Federal judge denies him bail. I don't know. Why now does this guy who's considering himself to be a prophet on YouTube, which is the main vehicle in which these videos have been pushed, as far as I'm concerned, since the internet came out, why does this man, why does this happen all of a sudden? Well, if you know the scriptures, there's no doubt in your mind why this is all happening, Akim. This is more for the believers. This is more for the ones who actually do believe that we are Israelites, that actually listen, pay attention. The Akim and the Akwaf, that's actually y'all believing. You're learning from the videos. You're being educated. You're being uplifted. You're being exhorted. You're being rooted and built up in this truth because you have been paying attention to the signs of the times. And so when things like this happen, if you're in the know, then you know why things like this occur. Which I'm going to break down now. Without further ado, let's get into the scriptures. What I'm going to talk about is the times of trials and persecutions, right? Trials and persecutions. First things first. Since we came on this earth, what have we been dealing with? Everybody that is born onto this earth, what is life on this earth right now? What is life? Job 7:12. Am I a sea or a whale that thou settest a watch over me? Most High is continually watching over us. Let's read on. Job 14:1. Man that is born of a woman is of few days and full of trouble. Life is just going to be full of trouble anyway. It's few days, it's short, and it's full of trouble. It's nothing you could unentangle yourself with. You are in a full entanglement with the fact that life is going to be short and full of trouble. And nobody knew it and professed it like Job. There's also another scripture I wanted to read of Job. He says here, Job 6:2. Oh, that my grief were thoroughly weighed and my calamity laid in the balances together, for now it would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words are swallowed up. That's how much he is complaining about the griefs It's heavier than the sands of the sea of his life. All right. And many prophets, many men of the scriptures, all joined in with the sentiment that, life is a burdensome thing anyway. So that's life. That's number one. That's first things first. Second thing is, we already knew about the persecution that we'd be facing. As a matter of fact, one thing is that history is going to repeat itself, right? So you got Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. So you see life is grievingful, it's sorrowful since the time of Job. And one would say, well, civilization is transcended into something a little greater, more marvelous than the time of Job. We have electricity and all of these. See, but one thing is that history repeats itself. That's another beauty of earth, that of history and earth, of humanity, so to speak, that you're going to see things occur again that once happened in history. So it behooves of you to know history, right? Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. It's talking about history, periods of time, even people, okay, spirits, if you will. It says, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So you can go through history and reference different things from the Dark Ages, the Greek Hellenistic period, the Egyptian pharaohs, from the times of Alexander the Great, from the times of Plato and these men. Then you can go further back to the time of Xerxes and the Persians and the Medes, to the time of Sargon and these different dynasties. You can see things in how these societies was set up and ruled. And then you can fast forward to 2022 and still see resemblances in new societies that had nothing to do with that. Because the Bible basically marks that, the Most High has organized life on earth to pretty much recycle over and over again. It says, and there is no new thing under the sun. So just when you thought it was new, it's not actually new. It says, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. And one thing is, it's not talking about planes and technology. It's speaking of, for one, spirits. Spirits are brought back again. Okay, and two, it's speaking of historical patterns. For instance, you can go towards a time. We're going to get into the times before and how they resemble the times now. But remember, this entire thing bases around Frank James. Okay, Frank James, this quote unquote, what New York Times calls a prophet of doom. He called himself the prophet of truth. All right, what's happening here? Is this a new thing? It's not. It says, there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So you're not going to remember the past life. You have to be learned of the past times. You have to. That's why they call them, people like that, historians. But everyone who believes on this word has to become somewhat of an historian so that you can understand where we are in this time. All right, and then see the things, see the patterns for yourself. Ecclesiastes 1:11. There's no remembrance. Okay, I read that. Ecclesiastes 3:15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And Yahweh, the Father, requireth that which is past. All right. Yeah, it sounds like a play on words or something, but it's basically saying, look, history repeats itself. That's it. Ecclesiastes 7:10. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Meaning people who say, you know what, it was so much better in the 1940s, or it is so much better in the 1300s. It says say not. Don't say that, because for thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Meaning, have you no understanding that everything repeats itself? Have you no understanding that the same thing that's happening now was actually happening before in those time periods too? So we understand that history is now repeating itself, right? So here's a situation in which from the book of First Kings, in which you had types of persecution, which were men suffering, prophets who suffered under the old rule, prophets who suffered. Okay, once again, this man's calling himself a prophet of doom. Now, it's this guy, the narrative that is being spun is that you have to watch out for the guys that call themselves prophets, because they're going to become carnal. They're going to take up arms. They're going to take matters into their own hands. Through the Spirit, how long has this word been coming out? How many people, according to Vocab Malone, another YouTuber, the famous Vocab Malone says 1.8 million people who subscribe to being a Hebrew Israelite in America alone. If that was the case, and if we had ever thought that we should take matters into our own hands, you would have these events happening every other day, every other hour, somewhere in America. But what's the narrative that being spent here is that we have to persecute the believers, the saints. We have to stop this before it gets out of hand. Stop what? Stop this truth. Stop this truth. 1 Kings 18:7. And as Obadiah was in the way, behold, Elijah met him, and he knew him, and fell on his face, and said, Art thou that, my Lord Elijah? This is Obadiah the prophet meeting Elijah the prophet. He's calling Obadiah. He says, Are you Elijah? He says, and he answered him, I am. Go tell thy Lord, behold, Elijah is here. Go tell who? Go tell Ahab, King Ahab. All right. So it says, and he said, what, have I sinned, that thou wouldest deliver thy servant into the hand of Ahab to slay me? As the Lord thy power liveth, there is no nation or kingdom whither my Lord hath not sent to seek thee. Meaning, listen, Obadiah is saying to Elijah, hey, look, you want me to tell my King Ahab that you're here. However, King Ahab has sent just about every one of his servants into every nation to look for you. There's a manhunt for you, to kill you, because there's a famine in the land. And it's believed that because you're teaching Yahweh against Baal, that Baal is plaguing us with a famine. We need to kill you. And King Ahab has sought out to do that. So he's saying, he's letting Elijah know the seriousness of the matter. He says, and when they said, he is not there, he took an oath of the kingdom and nation that they found thee not. All right. So he's saying to this man, to Elijah, the prophet, hey, look, he's seeking your life. And as the story goes on, later in that chapter, basically Elijah tells him, hey, look, I will meet with him today. You don't have to worry. You don't have to fear. I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. Tell the king I'm here. I want to meet with them. Right? In the face of him searching, even knowing that he's searching for his life. This prophet does that. Okay? This is the type of persecution. This is one example. Because Elisha had to go through persecution. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, David went through persecution. Job went through sufferings. This is just that normal thing that happens. Ezekiel, this is that normal thing that happens to prophets. Okay? Suffering. Let's continue. Now, you get to a situation where Fast forward in a different time period, Paul was suffering. Paul was being persecuted. Acts 23:12. And when it was day, certain of the Jews banded together and bound themselves under a curse, saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. So these men made a pact that they wouldn't eat or drink. They basically starved themselves until Paul was dead. And they were more than 40, which made this conspiracy up. And the word here is conspiracy. See, once again, the phrase that they used to vilify this man is conspiracy theorist. Conspiracy theorist. Oh, somebody, they want you to believe that anybody consider themselves a prophet is a conspiracy theorist. They'll pull up pictures of him talking about, different conspiracies and whatnot. But here's an actual conspiracy from the time of Paul that they were devising on Paul to kill him. Okay? I just want to real quick grab, if I can, what that word means there. Conspiracy. Once again, Great Millstone, we love to go into definitions of words, especially the Greek, especially the Hebrew. We love it. It's good. It's language. You learn a lot in language. Now, a swearing together. See, that's what a conspiracy is. And if you go into the etymology of the English word, con means with, conspiracy means breathe or breath, spire, breath. It means to breathe together. See, a swearing together. You have to speak it, vocalize together, a pact. And the pact was that they wouldn't eat or drink till they killed Paul. You see here, by implication, a plot. So what's a conspiracy? Technically, it's just a plot. Just like in Acts 23, it's a plot. They plotted on Paul. And what did they plot to do? Kill him. And were they plotting on something that he actually did? No, they were just conspiring. Look, we want to kill him. Don't tell him we're gonna kill him. We're just gonna go for it. Next verse says, and they came to the chief priests and elders and said, we have bound ourselves under a great curse, that we will eat nothing until we have slain Paul. And therefore ye with the council signify to the chief captain that he bring him down unto you tomorrow, as though ye would inquire something more perfectly concerning him, and we, or ever he, come near and ready to kill him. And when Paul's sister's son heard of their lying in wait, he went and entered into the castle and told Paul, and Paul called one of the centurions unto him and said, bring this young man unto the chief captain, for he hath certain thing to tell him. So he took him, verse 18, and brought him to the chief captain and said, Paul the prisoner called me unto him and prayed me to bring this young man unto me who hath something to say unto thee. Then the chief captain took him by the hand and went with him aside privately and asked him, what is that thou hast to tell me? And he said, the Jews have agreed to desire thee that thou wouldest bring down Paul tomorrow in the council, as though they would inquire something of him more perfectly, scheming, plotting, conspiring to kill him. But do not thou yield unto them, for there lie in wait for him of one of more than 40 men, which have bound themselves with an oath, that they will neither eat nor drink till they have killed him, and now are they ready, looking for a promise of thee. So the chief captain then let the young man depart and charged him, see thou tell no man that thou hast showed these things unto us. Acts 26 and 21, for these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. So we have situations in which now you understand they conspire against you. They breathe against you. There's this accusation against us, and the accusation they want to be made more than anything is the people on YouTube who are associated with calling themselves prophets, who are actual prophets. All we do is discuss matters concerning prophecy, and discuss matters concerning biblical prophecy, and line them up for our people to understand who they are and what's to come, so that they can turn back towards the Lord before it's too late. And now they'd rather you associate us with some heinous crime or some, madmen. We're madmen now. And technically, we've been always telling people there's some, there's certain parts of us that you find you can go ahead and consider mad. We consider mad, the wisdom, the scriptures tell you, oppression maketh the wise man mad. So look that up. We just believe in the word above all else. Psalms 37 and 7. For without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. There's a time which we under, which is going to be conspiracies against us, man. That involves people formulating plots to take us down, formulating plots to take us off YouTube, formulating plots to have us outcasted, formulating plots to make people aware that we're dangerous when we aren't. Psalms 38 and 12. They also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things, and imagine deceits all day. So we got snares, mischievous things, and deceits all day that they're plotting against us to seek our life. It's really that they'd rather have us dead, but they're just doing it diplomatically. You see, you throw the stone and you hide your hand. You see, the iron fist was how emperors used to rule dictatorships. Now the velvet glove over the iron fist is how the softer approach to getting things done. But we understand persecution comes from the top down. Psalms 41 and 7. All that hate me whisper together against me. Against me do they devise my hurt. And the scriptures go on and on about plots, schemes, deceits, mischievous things, hurts and snares, spears and arrows that they set against us. Because of the words that's coming out of our mouths, they are true. They are true. They wouldn't give no credence to us being true, or there would be no blockage of us if we're just these carnal, laughable men. But the truth is that the truth hurts them. And then once it's uncovered, it's hard to get back into. You can't get it back inside the glass. Now, after you have these conspiracies that's been made, what are we to do? I mean, how are we to conduct ourselves? The scriptures in Peter's tell you that knowing the times, what manner of man are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness. We know that. And so this is holy conversation. A holy conversation that we need to be in is to remain steadfast, right? Remain steadfast. Psalms 3 and 6 says, I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people that have set themselves against me round about. Where's the fear? But fear itself in this situation. What's the fear? It don't matter how many they get against you. Don't fear that. Psalms 119 and 87, they had almost consumed me upon earth, but I forsook not thy precepts. Man, they're going to come to the point where you might be near dead and still relying and believing on the Lord, because you don't forsake the Lord nor his precepts. See, this is the only thing on earth that makes sense to us. We done tried, we done lived in those other ways, dealt with other philosophies. This is the only thing that enlivens our spirit. And again, once you're woken up to this truth, you don't fall back asleep. If you do, there's a more severe judgment to falling back asleep than it was to somebody who never woke up in the first place. Psalms 119 and 157, many are my persecutors and my enemies, yet do I not decline from thy testimonies. Steadfast. Psalms 119 and 161, princes had persecuted me without a cause. Princes, mind you. See, the prince ain't gonna walk outside his house and come get you. See that you're not gonna see FBI director come and knock on your door. You're not gonna have Rothschild text you. Cut it out. You're gonna have their men, people that they send for you. Just like King Ahab sent for Elijah to different nations to kill him. It says, Princes has persecuted me without a cause, but my heart standeth in awe of thy word. Acts 4:19. But Peter and John answered and said unto them, whether it be right in the sight of Yahweh to hearken unto you more than unto Yahweh, judge ye. For we cannot but speak the things which we have seen and heard. I'm going to repeat that. For we cannot but speak the things which we have seen and heard. So we continue to speak these things which we see and hear in the face of all adversity, persecution, lies, slander, arrows. And that's just what a steadfast man of the Lord do and continues to do. Verse 23, and being let go, they went to their own company and reported all that the chief priests and elders said unto them. Verse 29, and now, Lord, behold their threatenings, and grant unto thy servants with all boldness they may speak thy word, by stretching forth thine hand to heal, and that signs and wonders may be done by the name of the Holy Child, Yahushua. That's what we're here for, to come boldly to the throne. Okay, steadfast, understanding that these persecutions, they're going to come. They're going to continue to come. Times like this, they're coming down harder. The heat is getting turned up. You're already in a jam just because what happened in the last year and two. But now they're going to come with this. That's fine. Be steadfast. Once again, eventually what's going to happen is the Lord's going to step in. He's going to shut it all down. He's going to cut off and end this persecution that we're facing right now. That his men, that his believers, that his people, that his elect is facing. He's going to shut it down. Psalms 18:18. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. When you stay upon the Lord, that means he's your rock. That means he's your foundation. That means he's your protector. He's your refuge in times of trouble. Matthew 10:26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. So all this scheme, plot, attacks, mischievous intentions, evil, all right, all of this is going to be revealed eventually anyway. You're not supposed to fear them. They're going hard right now to keep, you have to understand, they're going hard right now to keep the truth covered. This whole thing is to keep something that's being revealed from being revealed. And the men that are doing this, starting with the apostles of Great Millstone, are Hebrew Israelites. Camps, various camps, teaching about Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. Teaching about prophecy, thermonuclear war, how close we are to it, the return of the Messiah, the second coming. Preaching about these things. Preaching about destruction to these empires, including America, including NATO and the EU. Preaching about the MOTB. And how that's going to be the mark that they put in your right hand, on your forehead. These chips that they're getting ready to install. And how if you take it, you're going to be destroyed. Fear them not, therefore. So don't fear the ones that are coming against this truth. It's going to be revealed regardless. They cannot do anything against that except persecute. And the Lord's going to cut it short. Verse 28 says, and fear not them which kill the body, because the same people who want the truth to be covered and want the truth to be hid are the same people who want to kill the body. It says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. We understand that's talking about the Father is the only one that is able to destroy both body and soul. Okay, Mark 13:11. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak. What we're talking about is a situation in which you cannot go against. I'll be with you in a second. He's talking about a situation in which you cannot go against. The persecution is going to be avenged. It says, but when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak. Neither do you premeditate. That means you don't even have to consider what are you going to say. You don't even have to consider how you're going to get out of this situation. It says, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, speak ye, for it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Spirit. So the Most High going to divinely intervene. There's going to be a lot of divine intervention. And that's why we believe in spiritual power. That's another form of divine intervention. All throughout the Old Testament is spiritual power. And the New Testament, there's spiritual power. You can't believe on the Bible unless you believe that the Most High will give men spiritual power. Yahweh Shai himself, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, said that many things that I've done, you will do greater things. And he walked around the earth doing miracle after miracle, so many that can't be contained in all the books on the earth. It couldn't be contained. That's how much he has done, and how much more will we do in the times to come. Basically, the Lord will intervene where necessary. Luke 12:11. And when they bring you unto the synagogues and unto the magistrates and powers, take ye no thought how or what ye shall answer and what ye shall say. So, Lord willing, this video was edifying. It was all about feeding the flock. All right. Don't worry. Don't fear. As the scriptures tell you, the Lord's going to stand up for us. The Lord's going to protect us. These little conspiracies that Esau's plotting against us, don't fear him. All right. Be steadfast. Lord willing, to the end. He that endureth unto the end shall be saved. Shalom.